Welcome to the FileManager Configuration Guide. Now before we configure FileManager, we need to make sure we have a designated area for all of our documents. Now that can either be on the local computer, a file server, or the local cloud like Dropbox or Ignite. Once we have a location, the next thing we want to do is make sure we have some sort of a file structure. Here's a sample file structure. As was previously discussed, your file structure can be stored on a file server, local computer, or local cloud. If you look over here under Operations, we have a subfolder called FileManager Files. This can be renamed to Contact Files. We recommend this. Under Contact Files, you can have A to Z and have folders for each company folder. This would be a great place to store your client files, your vendors, suppliers, and such. You'll notice under A, we have ABC Company. We have some documents and emails that are underneath that folder. We also have a subfolder here with documents there. Let's go back to our FileManager configuration. Let's show you how to configure FileManager. Under the FileManager button on the global button bar, you'll notice a little arrow to the right hand side. Just click down on that and you'll see Setup. The first window we have here is for the FileManager setup itself. Now, because Chris Huffman from CH1 does not have a connection to the files for that particular person, you'll see that it says no file currently selected. So let's select one. This is not the way you would normally do it, but for this demonstration, let's connect so we can show you the rest of it. Click on Browse. Now, you'll see here that I have to dive down to try to find my file structure. And I want to continue to access my client file. So I'm going to drag this over here to my favorites folder so I can access it quickly whenever needed. There's my clients. Go under my C. There's CHTech1. And I'm going to select this folder, and this will now be the default folder where it saves the files for Chris Huffman. There's the location. Now I can use the rest of this. Let's just close this off for a second. If I go up to File Manager up on the button, it will automatically take me to that file folder now and open it up, and you can see the location of it, and we're opening up CHTech1. This is a floating window that allows you to have access to your files. We also can create a tab to access them that way as well. By going back into Setup, we can add a File Manager tab to the layout. By default, Show Commands is shown. We can also show navigation, and we also can show preview pane. Let's just show the commands. There's our File Manager tab, and there's the proposal, and you can see the location of where it's at right there. So you have a choice. You can either access the file folder from the floating window, or you can access it from the tab. Now let's go up and configure the tab. We can add Show Preview Pane and Show Navigation. Click OK. Once we've done that, we can go over here to File Manager tab, and you'll notice that now it has the navigation on the left hand side and the preview pane on the right hand side. Now there's nothing on this document, so it's not going to show up. Let's go back up to the configuration. We'll now configure the scanner. You'll notice that it automatically will select the scanning device that you have. You can go into the Select button, and if you have more than one scanner, choose the one that you'd like. We'll leave it on the Canon scanner. You also can check this box off if you have a Fujitsu ScanSnap. On the left-hand side, under the interface, we're going to use the Quick Scan, and now we have three choices. The default image type, we'll leave it at the PDF file. Color format, color, grayscale, or black and white, we'll leave it on grayscale. And then the resolution, I'll leave mine at 300 dpi. The enhanced interface selection will be covered in our How to Use guide. Let's now look at the Administrative tab. The Administrative tab is only accessible to those who have administrative privileges in the ACT database. Now there are three areas that we would like to look at. First, the default folder location for the database. Click on Browse. Now I could just go to the shortcut that I have over here under my favorites. Well, let's take the long way around. Local files, operations, and there's our client files. I'll just click on that and select folder. The next is allow FileManager to automatically manage folders. When I select this, it allows me to choose one of two settings, company name or contact name. Now, company name, if you're using the company table in ACT and you have company records on there, then you'll want to use the company name because this will set it up for the company and also push down those settings to each contact linked to that company. If you're not using the company table, you can use the contact name and it'll do the same thing. Now what this does, when you click on this and you use the automatic feature, what it will do is it will go to the default location, and if it's not set up as A to Z, it will add the first character. In this case, green plastics. It will add a G if there's no G folder there, and then it will add green plastics as its own folder, and it will all set it up. The next section here is security. Now this security is only related to changing the file location for each company or contact. Right now, when you first open it up, there are no security settings checked off. So if I check off Browse, Restricted, and Standard, these three particular security settings, those individuals that have that will not be able to adjust this. Only the manager and the administrator. So you can set that up any way you want. But by default, none of them are selected, and it is open to everybody on here. Click OK, and we're done the configuration.
We've added a couple new features to FileManager. There's a new Utilities flyout, and under that flyout we have three items here that we can select from. Create a file structure, create folder links, and migrate documents. Now, create a file structure if you don't already have an existing filing structure, or if the filing structure that you have now you're not happy with and you want to create a new one and migrate your old files over to this new structure, you can create one from here. So it's quite simple. Just click on the Create File Structure. It's going to ask you, where do you want to create this file structure? Now I'm going to use it on this local computer. We'll go over here to Local Files, and I'll go New Structure, File Structure. You can put it anywhere you want. It can be on the cloud, on a file server, or again on the local computer like I'm doing here. Select Folder, Create, Continue, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to create a link to what they call the customer-vendor files? And this is where it will save all of the documents for the contacts that you have in your ACT database. So all of your vendors, all of your clients or customers will be all in one location, and they'll be filed from A to Z, and you'll be able to access them that way. So if you're happy with that file structure link, we'll create the link, and we'll go Finish. Now let's have a look and see what that structure looks like. On our local computer, Local Files, there's our new filing structure. And what it does is it sets up 4 silos: administration, marketing, operations, and sales. Under administration, it has several folders that you can start with and work from. You've got marketing, a bunch of different places for graphics and pictures and recordings and social media. I'll bypass operations for a second. Sales, you've got a sales document, library, sales plan, sales training. And then we have operations. Under operations, we've got standard operating procedures and different things that you can add in here. But this is where our customers and vendor files are that ACT will access. And there it is from A to Z. And that's the structure that it would use. So that's how quick and easy it is to set up a filing structure. And again, you can modify it. You can add folders that you wish, move things around, organize them, and then you can drag the files and stuff that you have from your old system, or if you don't have one, start using this system to start organizing all of your documents. Now that we've set that up, we can go over here to the utilities and we can create folder links. Now how that works is, now that we've got the structure all set up, we need to go into setup and make sure that we have, under admin, we have allow file manager to automatically manage folders. And I recommend, as we've said in previous parts of this video, that we do it, if you're using the company files or the company table, do it from the company down to the contacts as opposed to contacts, because then when you do it from the company, it will attach all the contacts that are linked to that company. So we'll make sure that that's checked off so that you can create the folders. Press OK. So now we're going to go over to the companies. Now we have all of these companies, and you can see if we click on them, if you look at the icon, it's blank. It's got an empty folder with a little star. If we just click on those, they're empty folders with stars. So now what I'll do is I'll go over to File Manager. Now that we have that connection all set up, we go to Utilities, and I'll use the second one now, Create Folder Links to All Companies. So now it's going to go through and create a link for each one of the companies, and it's then going to link all the contacts to that same location. So File Manager has successfully done that. So now if I go to Black Forest here, you'll see now it's got a file structure. If I go to the contacts, it links it all to the contacts below as well. And so there's the empty folder that we have. So each one of them now is already set up. You don't have to go and mess around. It's all ready to go. All right. Now the last thing we have, if we go to CHTech1 and we go under Documents, and let's see if we've got under, oh no, it's high tech, there it is there. So we have some documents underneath this particular company. So if we want to move documents that were either a file attached or shortcut attached, we can actually move them now into the folder. So if we go to File Manager here really quick, you'll see that we have a few in here because we've added some in, but we've got, let's just delete these out of here really quick. Get those out of there. And then we're going to go back over here to the documents, and we're going to move these. So all I have to do is go over to File Manager again, and this is the last part of the utility. Go over to Migrate Documents, and I can do All Companies, Current Lookup, or Current Company. I'll just do the current company. Sure, we go OK. It now moves those documents, doesn't copy them, actually moves them, and now if we go to the File Manager, there those documents are sitting there. And so this does one of two things. It will reduce the size of the folder, the folder that holds all the attachments, so that your backups and that sort of thing aren't so large. So we'll reduce that size, now moving them to the new file structure or the existing file structure that you have. And again, remember, you can use your existing file structure. This in the utilities here to create this file structure is just if you don't have one, or if you don't care for the one you have and you want to create it, go from scratch and start a new one. And that's what that's for. So now you've seen the new features of the File Manager under the Utilities drop-down. Again, create a new file structure if you'd like to create a new one, link folders to it, and then migrate documents if you wish.